Welcome to the Pearls of Wisdom podcast, brought to you by Southern Jewelry News and Jewelry Store Marketers.
Hey everyone, this is Guy with Jewelry Store Marketers, and we are here with another episode of the Pearls of Wisdom Jewelry podcast. And as always, I'm here with my lovely co-host, Elisa Diddle from Southern Jewelry News. What's up?
Hi, how you doing?
Fantastic. And today we have David Holloway from Sunstone to talk to us about a very hot topic in the jewelry industry right now. David, hello.
Hey, hello. How are you guys? Thanks for having us.
Great. Thanks for coming on. And why don't you tell us about what do you do for Sunstone, and about the company a little bit.
Perfect. Yeah. So a quick, brief introduction. Sunstone. We manufacture micro welding products. We've been doing this for 15 or 20 years now, and it's all micro welding. Most of it's done under a microscope, very small applications, which has been fun. We're in a lot of different industries beyond the jewelry. I know that's where our focus is today, but Sunstone's core was more of an industrial, and you'll be surprised how many micro welds go on and are used in all the devices we use day by day. But within jewelry, and more specifically the permanent jewelry, we're seeing a lot of growth and a lot of excitement. So it's really a fun time for us right now.
Yeah. There's really a lot of jewelers talking about it, and there's your ad. Anyone watching on YouTube will see Lisa's holding up the Southern Jewelry newspaper there with your ad. So that looks good, and it is a pretty hot topic. I know jewelers that I've done it, and you see the topic pop up every once in a while on the Facebook groups, either IJOs, RJOs, or Jewelers Helping Jewelers, or others. So in the last couple, when did permanent jewelry start, and when did you guys start seeing it?
Yeah. So the first time I saw it was actually end of 2018, early 2019. Is when I first had my first customer come and say, "Hey, can I do this?" And I'd never heard of that before, and I was like, "Yeah, there shouldn't be any reason why you couldn't do it." I thought it was an odd request at first, but it was able to be welded, and that lady, she went on to start selling, I'm sure. But when we really saw things really take off, it's probably been in the last year, and probably more specifically the last 8 or 9 months. Middle of last year is when it really exploded and kind of hit that mass market and just took off like a rocket ship. So it's been fun. The last give it a year, give it 12 months. It's been a lot of fun for us to see it take off and the adoption of our products. Like I said, we kind of started more of an industrial manufacturing arena. So to see it take off and hit mainstream, just looking at that, like a hashtag on TikTok with permanent jewelry, and just see how many views and how many videos there are, how many people, I can tell you, customers, how many people are changing their lives by getting in and starting to sell the service of permanent jewelry. And then so many people who are now wearing the bracelets. So it's been fun to see this industry take off and to know that my product's kind of at the core of what it is.
That's great. Yeah. Do you I don't know if you have any sense. You said it really take off. Are you guys seeing hundreds, thousands of people doing permanent jewelry? And it's really, we hear a lot about it, but you guys, like you said, you're right in the forefront. So it's
definitely. Definitely there are hundreds of these going out monthly. People buying, and what's neat is there's definitely the jeweler market, the jewelers who are buying this. Even if you've got a laser welder or you don't have any welders, you can add this permanent jewelry welder that we offer, the Impulse, to your existing business. You might be focused in one segment of the jewelry. You might do just engagement rings, or you might do just necklaces. But adding permanent jewelry into your shop gives you another revenue stream from your existing customer base. So we see a lot of jewelers expanding their business that way. People who have a laser welder, well, you're not really going to stick a third hand inside a laser welder to do this. But if you add this micro welder into it, the impulse, it allows you to have a second welder, but it allows you to do new applications that didn't exist before. We're seeing it also in other industries too. People who don't necessarily sell jewelry, but this is, again, another revenue stream to their existing customers. And so we're seeing growth there as well. Not your typical, brick and mortar jeweler is getting into this. There's other industries where it's kind of spilled into.
Right. What are you guys hearing, Lisa? You guys wrote a bunch of articles about it and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, evidently, there's some mixed reactions to the retailers. I think they're coming all on board or not whatsoever. But I'm seeing a lot of jewelers that are like, you know how it is in this industry. There's a lot of peer-to-peer, coaching going on. So I think if one jeweler sees that the success of somebody, then they all kind of join in. So I think it's here to stay. And I know at the most recent Tucson show, there were some people out there actually performing and doing, on site. So that was pretty good. And also at the recent RJO show, there was the talk was a lot around this permanent jewelry trend. And I was just looking at David at the ad, and on the top you're saying that is your number one bestseller, right? That's the Impulse, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
And it says it's starting at like $2,400. Is that what your basic jeweler can come in and say, I just need to get started on this? This would be the product that you would offer them, correct? If it is, how quickly, or what do you tell the retail buyers? How quickly are they going to be able to make that money? Because, that's what a jeweler wants to know. Oh, that's a lot of money, $2,400. But I'm sure as, Sunstone, you would say, well, what's in your experience, the timetable to get that money back and start making just profit?
Yeah, no, that's great. That's a great question, and it's one that's helpful when making that decision. 2,400 isn't, just a quick decision, but if you look at what you're doing within this market, I've heard people where they make it back during the first week or during the first weekend, depending on, again, what type of foot traffic you have and where you go do this. Some of these people that say they pay it off in the first day, they'll take it to like a farmer's market or a pop-up convention, and where there's just massive crowds walking through, and they're able to just say, hey, do this, and there's lines. They've got people lined up, and they're able to break even on day one. That's probably a unique situation, but it doesn't take that long, truthfully, to make it up. If you look at what you're selling, and if you're already in the jewelry industry, that, some of the markups and the margins you have on supplies and chains and jewelry. Just simple math. If you sell a bracelet for $100, 24 bracelets is all you need to get that $2,400 investment recouped. Now that's not factoring your cost of goods for the chain or your time to, salary and all that, but it's really not that bad. If you go real rough, basic, not complete math, 24 bracelets at $100, you broke even. And you just got to look and see how many customers do you have? How quickly could you sell 24 bracelets? It's not that long. So for a lot of people, it does make sense to get into this, because after that, the next $2,400, that's pure profit. You've already paid for your machine.
Right.
Yeah, for the people, for the jewelers out there, and other types of businesses that are interested, and some people probably say, well, I might have something that I could, I already have something in my drawer, my workshop or something that can help me do this. Let me give it a try. What do people have to be careful with? What has others tried to DIY this, and has there been some problems along the way? Have you heard of anything like that?
In terms of DIYing the welding part?
Yeah.
I think that would be, it's nothing crazy. This isn't like a proprietary technology that we have. But I will say I would be, there's a lot of time. Like I said, we've been around for, 15, 20 years doing this. And we do it, we've got very high demanding customer bases on the industrial side. You know, we've got all the automotive manufacturers, we've got aerospace companies, we've got high-tech tech product companies. So we really understand the safety elements. We understand the design elements that go into making a product. You are dealing with you're dealing with currents and voltages. You're dealing with plasma arcing. So there is a lot of potential for things that could go wrong. But I want to dispel any concerns by saying that our products are designed to be very safe, to be user friendly. So I don't have any concerns with somebody using my machine and making welds on your skin. If you were to try to DIY hack this together, it's a pretty steep learning curve, and there is potential for it to go wrong. And I would think then, going back to the last question then too, at $2,400, I think there's some value built into that you know you're getting a quality product that's already been, you know, safety first in its design.
Right.
How old is Sunstone? When was Sunstone found, David?
Yeah, it was. I think it was 2006 is when it officially started. Yeah.
And where are you guys located?
Yeah, we're based in Utah. We our offices are 1 hour south of Salt Lake City.
Okay,
Got it.
awesome.
Yeah, when somebody receives one of your your spot welders, is that what would you say it would be? Okay, one of your spot welders. How long do they need to kind of go through the training or something? How long would it take for them to get started?
I would say you could make the beauty of the Impulse, which is the model we're pushing for this, because it's the low cost, it's the lowest priced product that we have. The beauty of it, it only has, maybe it has about almost 30 settings, power settings to use, but that's it. I've got other ones where we've unlocked the software to let you change every value. And so there's an infinite number of configurations you could make. On the Impulse, you've got 27 hard-coded options to choose from. And so you're not going to get lost in all the features and all the options, right? Do I toggle this? Do I turn that on, off? What do I do? It's a simple number. We've simplified the machine. So it's strictly just a number. You start low and you increase it as needed. So if you make a weld and it wasn't enough power, well, increase the number by 1 and try it again until you get to that threshold. And like I said, there's 27 options. So you can't really mess that up. When you buy the machine, it comes with the user manual. It comes with QR codes to watch our videos. And we've got an extensive video library for anybody that wants to get into this that covers everything there is you need to know about the machine, how to use the interface, how to make welds, and then specifically how to go about putting a bracelet on somebody else's wrist. So I would go in that order. I'd get familiar with the machine. I'd make a few welds, not on somebody's wrist, just on metal and scrap, and even putting links together without an arm in the middle, and then work your way up to doing that. Not that you couldn't do that right out of the gate, but just to get comfortable. That's the proper procedure. But those video guides will walk you through everything, troubleshoot, common pitfalls, and just general knowledge of what you need to have so that you're successful when you go to do a bracelet.
Got it.
Definitely, though, within a half hour, you're up and ready to go. You could be putting a bracelet on within 30 minutes.
Okay.
Well, I started my career in the industry piercing ears at the mall. And I thought it was such a cool job because, number one, I got to wear a lab coat. And then secondly, I got to inflict pain on somebody. But one of the things that and they paid me. One of the things was that we always said, well, this is a minor surgical procedure because I'm actually, getting into tissue in your ear. And therefore, we would explain how to take care of your ears properly and things like that. Is there any such protocol with the permanent jewelry? I mean, is there, disclosures or, they have to sign a waiver in case, what if the associate who's doing it, if they slip and, could it burn that person's skin, that laser? Or are there, things that are in place because it is a spark?
Yeah. The biggest fear I have with the permanent jewelry is actually nothing to do with the welding process. It's more of wearing a chain that's meant to stay on your wrist. We do have a waiver that we have people sign when we do a bracelet, just because, like, if that bracelet were to get caught and, there could be damage inflicted that way, but it's more post-weld. Through the weld process, I'm less concerned because the weld is made using an electric current, and there's a positive and a negative aspect to making a weld with this machine. So you clip the chain with the negative, and then you touch it with the welding needle on the positive, and the current will flow from one to the other, and it will take the path of least resistance, which is always going to be metal. It will not be your skin. It will not be, your clothing. And so the welding process is completely safe from that standpoint. If you use too much power, the chain could be too hot, or it could, create slag that could, metal that's shooting off that could land on you. But again, the Impulse is my baby welder. It's the smallest, lowest powered machine that I offer. And so those two scenarios aren't likely unless you max out the power, which you won't ever need to do, because it's usually the lower range that you're dealing with, because you're welding more of those daintier chains. And that's ultimately what I come back down to is, right, the fear of the first one where that chain gets snagged. I recommend people use daintier, smaller, thinner chains so that if they do get hooked, the chain will break first.
Snap off, right.
So that's fully, truthfully, that's the full scope of what could go wrong, and that's how we address both issues.
It doesn't sound like it's major. So it's a safe procedure. Sounds like most of the issues would come out post done, because it could get snagged on something.
Yeah.
Well,
and I went and I go play basketball weekly. And I just, I just put on a wristband, just so that it's covered up while I'm playing hoops. And so, nobody's other hand or fingers are going to slip in there.
See it?
And an arm sleeve. So
got one on today? Always you have it on.
Right. Yeah.
I'm going to have a look at it.
I cut them off when I'm doing them. So my permanent, I've had probably about, 25 permanent bracelets, right?
That's great.
Permanent, but where I can just cut them off and on whenever I need. That's kind of how I operate.
Oh, that's neat. That's neat. Well, I haven't gotten one yet. I sure would like to get one then, but just, curiosity, I guess, as you say. So,
aside from the training resources, do you have other resources that jewelers can use to help them get started?
Yeah, so we've tried to build up and support this market and support this industry. Like I said, truthfully, it was the non-jewelers who kind of adopted it first. And I heard from a lot of, we go to a lot of the jewelry shows, and a lot of people, we saw what was happening in the industry. And the jewelers were actually not the first to jump into permanent jewelry. It was these other markets that were seeing an opportunity to expand their product offering to an existing customer base. A lot of boutique shops, a lot of esthetician, permanent makeup, places like that kind of got into this. Is like, they've already got clients. How can we get into this? We're seeing a lot of the jewelers now saying, hey, yeah, maybe this trend isn't really a trend. I mean, it's here to stay. It's not a fad. But to support it, the initial wave that we saw, the non-jewelers, we had to come up with a lot of training and a lot of resources, because these are not jewelers. They don't understand that you don't open a jump ring this way. You open the jump ring this way, so that it maintains its shape. So there was a lot that we had to do starting at square one to train these non-jewelers. So we do have a lot of those resources. We've expanded our product offering as well to not just be jewelers, to be welders, but to support the industry. So we've got chains, we've got more hand tools and flyers, we've got other accessories, travel cases. A lot, like I said, a lot of these people will go do pop-ups, or they'll go do, the Tupperware parties in people's homes where they're selling the chains there. So we've had to come up with a lot of these other accessories that support the industry. So in terms of like a product offering, we've expanded that a lot to accommodate that. We've upped our video resources to give trainings. And one other item that, if it's okay to share, is we're putting together a conference as well that should cover every question you could ever have about permanent jewelry. And we're hosting, and it's a conference that we're organizing. We've got sponsors, we've got vendors, we've got people teaching classes. I think we were up to like 25 or maybe now 30 different classes, all centered and applicable to a permanent jewelry business.
Nice. Tell us about it. Where, what's the name? How can somebody, learn more about it and join it?
Yep. So the conference we're calling it the PJ Expo, PJ Expo. If you want to, I've got a URL, a website. It is pjexpo.org, pjexpo.org. If you go type that in, you'll see the registration page. You'll see the list of topics. You'll have, every link you need. We're going to do it in Vegas, and it is the week leading up to JCK. So we kind of targeted that, JCK being a big show. So the dates are Tuesday, May 30th through Thursday, June 1st. It's in Vegas. We've contracted it to be at Caesar's Palace. So we've rented out their convention ballroom areas. So we've got more than enough space. And it's just, have an opening reception in the first night. We'll have classes and a marketplace all day the next day, and then a half day on the third day, on the first. So should be really good. We've got some big name sponsors. We've got some big name keynote speakers. So, and we've organized a lot of quality presenters for the classes.
Nice. That's great. PJ Expo.
PJ Expo.
Right, Caesar Palace. Well, that's leading up to JCK. Right. So, it'd be great for jewelers that do like to get out there. They're out there for luxury early, or just enjoying a few days. Sounds like this would be a great stop before they go over to JCK and AGTA and do their shopping over there.
Yep.
It's just an exciting, it's exciting in our industry. I think when we have a new on trend, something that is on trend, and it seems like it's going to be kind of permanent. Pardon the pun. But I think jewelers in general get really excited because they do have something new to talk about, and I know all of them are that I've talked to in their stores. It just creates a lot of excitement and fun. Girlfriends coming in, with girls' parties or bachelorettes, and they're all getting permanent before a wedding and anything like that. So jewelers really need to see, if this is not really in your store, definitely consider. We just told you how quickly you can make the money back and get right into the profit. Sunstone is a great, along with all the other lasers that you guys sell, they really can help you do that. So, maybe not wait till you go see them in Vegas. Maybe you want to go ahead and pick the phone up right now, and, we'll ask David how to get, what the best way to get in touch with you. Obviously, please check out our paper, and you will continually see Sunstone in the inside back cover, and they'll always have their new products out, and they do a good job of letting you know what is new out there. So if you pick up your Southern Jewelry News and you read our newsletter, you won't miss any news about PJX or what Sunstone's doing.
Wow, that's great. So just my final question is, so it sounded like if a jeweler want to get started, they're not doing it now, and they wanted to get started with permanent jewelry, you can supply them everything they need, the chains, the welder, all the training. They can get going right away, just giving you guys a call.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Anybody with more questions, I'm sure there's more questions than we cover here, and most importantly, because your questions are going to be, specific to you and your situation.
Right.
But feel free to give us a call, and we'll talk through whatever questions there are. Like you mentioned there too, if you're wanting to get into it, I would absolutely say buy it now. If you know you're going to do it, buy it now. Get familiar with it. That just makes if you come to PJ Expo, or you stop by JCK, we'll have a deeper level conversation, because you've already got the machine, you've already been messing with it. You'll have specific questions that we can answer.
That's true.
You don't know what you don't know. So the sooner you buy the equipment, the sooner you'll learn and you get to the next advanced levels. And I'd love to talk you through any questions from beginning to end, either on the phone, right now, or at the PJX, or at JCK, or wherever we may meet up at a trade show in the future. But yeah, my guys here, anyone on the sales team could very easily have a good one-on-one conversation to answer any questions and to help make any decisions when it comes to purchasing a machine or how to implement it into your business.
Perfect. Why don't you tell everyone how to get in contact with you? Phone number, website, or whatever.
Yeah. So our website, it's www.sunstonewelders with an S, sunstonewelders.com. So that would have everything you need to know there. Or you just call in. Our phone number is 801 658 0015.
Okay, sounds good. Lisa's holding up the picture there with your contact details. So, perfect. Well, fantastic. I know, like I said, from the beginning, there's a lot of talk about permanent jewelry. So if you guys want to get into it, you're in a jewelry store and you keep seeing all the trends and you see your friends in the industry doing it, contact David and his team at Sunstone. It's really picking up a lot of steam. Consumers are talking about it. And, TikTok is, it's all over TikTok and Instagram and social media. So get into it. Don't wait. Call David and his team. Check out Southern and Mid-America Jewelry News, and you can see Sunstone's beautiful ad over there. And go see them at JCK. Do you know your booth number, David?
I don't know that one. I'd have to look it up.
That's what your website's for, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Good.
So you'll be ACK in their tools and equipment section, I assume, and then so after you do your PJX conference, then you guys are moving over to GJX. So they have lots of opportunities either before or during JCK to meet with Sunstone. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, they're great guys. We've really enjoyed working with them, and again, don't wait too late because you know how it is. You could. I've been there. People wait too late to get on the next hot thing, and then before you know it, most of it's already is gone. So get on it right away.
Yeah.
And again, we really appreciate Sunstone as an ad partner, but more a great supplier to the jewelry industry. I've heard nothing but good things about Sunstone and their staff. So, give them a shot.
Perfect.
Thank you for that. That's a good little plug. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, David.
Shout out to Sunstone.
Sunstone. Hashtag Sunstone.
Shout out.
What hashtag are we looking for, David? Permanent jewelry.
Yeah,
Permanent jewelry.
Yeah, permanent jewelry. That's the one that's the consumer trend.
Right.
So
perfect. I mean, if you're not convinced, you don't have to listen to David or us here. If you go look up hashtag permanent jewelry, and you'll see everyone talking about it.
That's
so
true.
Lisa said don't get left behind, so I think you should get left behind. So okay, David, thank you so much for joining us. Lisa.
Well, yeah, I was going to say thank you too. I just encourage you to be a part of it and to help anybody out there listening, watching this. I'm excited to see where this goes, and again, appreciate you guys making it happen.
Yeah, and we'll keep you updated on how the PGX Expo goes, and obviously any new products or services that you're offering, our readers will be able to see online and in our paper. So yeah, keep that coming.
Super.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks everyone. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Pearls of Wisdom. Thanks a lot. Take care, guys. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Pearls of Wisdom Jewelry Podcast. For more information about the show, please visit southernjewelrynews.com/podcast, brought to you by Southern Jewelry News and Jewelry Store Marketers. Make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you can catch the next show. See you then.